Hey guys, my name is Glenn. Myself and Matt from R.I.P Tools. I want to touch base real quick on a subject, tool selection and proper tool setup. This video is not for everyone. I know there's a lot of different skill sets out there, a lot of different experience levels. But I know some guys are just getting started, or you may have been doing it for a little while and not have really thought too much about what I'm fixing to tell you. About tool selection. Also realize that not everybody has got a large selection of tools at their disposal, and that's fine. Myself, I do. You know, if I'm going, if I've got a carve that I'm going 3/8 deep, 1/2 inch deep, you know, I've got an end mill that covers that. It's just long enough. That's all I need. I can push it a lot harder. I can get the carve done a lot quicker. Same thing with ball nose. You know, and I've got different foot lengths, you know, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 2 inch. I've got all kinds of different tools, so my options are wide open. For those of you that your options aren't that wide open, and let's say all you have is this R.I.P 1/4 inch with an 1.5 inch flute, and you only need to carve 3/8, 1/2 inch deep, you only want to stick this thing out as far as you need to. And in this case, you've got an 1.5 inch flute, you know, 1.5 inches is what you want to stick it out. If you've got a 2 inch carve, you know, and this applies to all end mills, not just this particular one. And it's kind of a bad example, but I see a lot of people who they're either doing one of two things. They're not paying attention to how far they stick these tools out. You know, in the case of this tool here, this is the 1/2 inch flute. I'm going 3/8 deep. I've seen guys that want to just hang it out like that. Every little bit you stick this tool out, you increase the chances of breaking it. You decrease the strength of this tool. If this thing were long enough, I could just reach out here and grab it and snap it by hand, you know. It's very important that you only use what you need, you know. In this case, when I'm going 3/8 deep, I'll stick this thing all the way up to the flute, which is a 1/2 inch. That gives me a little bit of clearance, so I won't hit anything. The tool is super rigid. You can push it a lot harder. It's not going to start singing to you. It's not going to chatter its ass off. That said, you know, use that philosophy on everything. Whether it's a 1/2 inch, you know, this monstrosity right here. I hate this email, by the way. But, you know, I've got tools for every job. And when I don't have a tool for every job, I have to get away with what I can get away with. And if it means hanging a big old long tool out there when I don't need that much of it, you got to kind of baby it along and play with it and see what it likes, what it doesn't like. You can't push tools like this as hard or as fast as you can push this tool sticking out this far. So keep that in mind. I see a lot of guys having problems with, they just throw these things in there without taking much thought into how far they're sticking it out. In the back of their mind, they may think, oh, I got plenty of clearance. Well, it's plenty of clearance is way too much clearance. Another issue you have, if you're not checking on enough of whatever tool you've got, these collets do funny things when you go to tighten it down and you don't have enough of this shaft inside this collet. The collet begins to deform around the back of it, and what that kind of does, if you tighten it up too hard, it's kind of, what do I have here that can maybe demonstrate that? A tool and a collet in a perfect world, you know, it looks something like this. When you've only got a little bit, not that much in here, the collet will start to squish in behind it and will make kind of a pivot point. And this is exactly what your tool does inside that spindle, you know, on a much smaller scale. I'm just doing this for illustration. But that's another leading cause of breakage. That tool is not only have you decreased the strength, but now you're creating all kind of weird forces all around it. It'll actually destroy the collet too. I've done it myself. So keep that stuff in mind. Pay close attention to how far you're extending your end mills. If you only need an inch, you know, don't extend it much further than an inch. Just make sure your collet nut's got clearance. Make sure your spindle's got clearance. But only stick these tools out what you need. It will make your life so much easier. Besides the breakage part, other problems with finish and chatter and squealing and singing to you and sounding like crap, you can reduce those problems simply by only using what you need. And we'll go over some other issues with finish and chatter and things like that in another video specific to these tools. But I just want to touch base on that real quick. I know that there have been some people that had problems with it and just kind of wandering around the internet, looking at other people's videos and other questions on other boards. I see a lot of that problem. And so I just want to kind of help with that. I hope this video made a little bit of sense. I'm not the best teacher in the world, not the best at describing things. So keep that in mind, and I hope you got something from this, and I'll be following up with another video on these tools here shortly. Thank you.